Okay, welcome everybody back to Steve Talk Boxing X, STBX, where we try to talk real boxing with the real fans. This week we're talking about this Saturday's WBO World Cruiserweight fight in Chris Billam-Smith versus Richard Riakporhe. And joining me this week is Jack from Absolute Boxing YouTube channel. Welcome, Jack, to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant having you on. Been meaning to for a while. First question to you, Jack, is quite a serious one. Madonna's dating Riakporhe. What the hell is that about?
He's just living life. He's enjoying his life. I can't fault him on it whatsoever.
But all the people, I couldn't believe it when I saw the headline. I think, obviously, Riakporhe, I think he does modelling as well as boxing. I think they met at a modelling shoot or something like that. So, but I thought, that's crazy. Is she going to be at the fight, do you think?
I hope so. If we can see her ringside, maybe even going up into the ring, she might be one of the ring girls. Be brilliant.
What about ring entrance music? A bit of Madonna coming into Madonna, maybe.
Yeah.
What's the odds on? Yeah, what's the odds on that? So you never know. It could be, I don't know, Material Girl or something like that, Into the Groove, and Riakporhe coming in. But I thought that was bizarre, and I know there's a bit of an age difference, but I guess, like you said, I guess Richard he's living a good life at the moment.
He can do what he wants now.
Yeah, exactly. Going back, got to rewind really back to the first fight, Jack. It was an SD for Riakporhe, and that was over 5 years ago now. 95, 94, 97, 92, and CBS, he got the nod on 96, 93, which was a bit random. But did you think that was the right result at the time?
I think that was a fair result. Like, the knockdown definitely made it a lot more, like, in favour of Riakporhe, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of pushed it over the line for him.
Yeah. And one thing, I obviously I didn't realise, because obviously 5 years is a long time ago, that was only scheduled for 10 rounds. Obviously, the rematch is scheduled for 12. Do you think that will make much difference?
I don't think so. I think two of the lads are still they haven't changed much since the first fights, I don't think. They kind of go head first into it, and they have good enough gas tanks that hopefully they'll be able to get through it if it goes the distance.
If it goes the distance. Well, my next question to you was going to be that, to be honest with you, because it was 5 years ago. How much, are people forgetting they fought already? It's been such a long time, but have people forgot about that, the initial first fight?
I'm going to be honest, I kind of forgot about it, and I watched the fight live at the time, but it completely slipped my mind. And when I heard the announcement, I looked it up on YouTube, and the first fight came up, and after watching it again, I was like, I've watched this before.
I've seen this one before.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing I've noticed this week, Jack, they're not really selling it as Billam-Smith Riakporhe 2. I've not really seen like a 2, or not. There's not much emphasis on the rematch, is there? Even on the hashtags I've seen, they've cut the 2. It's just a nice Chris Billam-Smith Riakporhe hashtag there that they got there. There's no 2 mentioned to it. Do you think they've done that on purpose?
I think that could be Ben Shalom doing that, to be honest. I think he wants to kind of forget about the first fight and build it up as if it was the first fight.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of in a new era now, the two of them. Like 5 years is a long time for both fighters.
Yeah.
So I think he wants a clean slate for this fight.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me when Tyson Fury fought Derek Chisora for the 3rd time, and they try to keep that 3rd time out the sort of, posters and stuff like that, So
they really couldn't sneak that past us.
Yeah, you can't get past that. They've already fought twice before, so I kind of agree with you on that. Maybe both have done quite a bit significant in those 5 years to build it up a bit more. Let's try and forget these guys already fought before. Again, I don't know what sort of following with these guys. 5 years ago, obviously it's been built up since then, isn't it? So, but I would have, I would have to agree with you that maybe they're trying to sell it as a fresh aspect, as a fresh fight, and it is a big domestic fight as well. With regards to yourself, Jack, what do you think has changed in those 5 years for both fighters?
Well, I think both of them have built their confidence up a lot. I think after the loss for Billam-Smith, I think since then he's only skyrocketed. Like he sells out nearly every show he has in Bournemouth. Like when he goes back there, and after winning the world title, he'll have a lot of confidence coming into the fight. And Riakporhe has still been just wiping the floor with opponents. So he's definitely full of confidence, and with the way his lifestyle has changed, like doing the modeling and all that.
Is that pre Madonna, Jack?
But that could definitely change things up for both of them.
Yeah.
Like they're going to definitely come in with a lot more confidence, but is it the right type of confidence?
Yeah, definitely that. The cruiserweight division at the moment, personally, I think it's quite good. But how would you rate it domestically and maybe on the global level?
I'm enjoying it at the moment. Like compared to even 5-6 years ago, like it wasn't where it is now. Like there's guys from England now, like Vidal Riley, Isaac Chamberlain. Like they're all coming up in the division, and they're making good fights out of it, and they're making it entertaining. So I can't complain whatsoever.
Yeah. I think the British cruiserweight is probably, if you look across the fighters we have, it's probably one of the strongest divisions we have. I think that the British cruiserweights there anyway. And
definitely for a boxer as well. Boxers seem to have most of the cruiserweights at the moment in Britain.
Yeah, they sort of got a monopoly on the cruiserweight division with them guys. The fight itself is at Selhurst Park. Put my teeth back in. Crystal Palace's ground. Are you a big fan of football stadium fights?
I think the atmosphere will definitely be amazing for it. Hopefully they'll be after selling it out by then. I know there's a lot of tickets going around at the moment.
Yeah.
So
I think you're giving away a few, ain't you, Jack?
Yeah, I'm giving away a few on the Twitter.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing that giveaway on Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, anyone who's not entered that competition, I'm going to put Jack's details on the bottom of the video. So look Jack up, give him a follow, and give you a chance to win those tickets as well. Both fighters are kind of football fans behind them. Obviously, Riakporhe, Crystal Palace, Billam-Smith from Bournemouth. How do you see the fan split in the ground itself in the ring?
Well, I think the Bournemouth fans will go anywhere to see CBS at the moment. Like they sell out the arena every time that or the stadium every time that he's there. So I think there will be a lot of fans coming down to see him. But with Riakporhe,
yeah, what about Riakporhe? Obviously, he's the Crystal Palace. It's in Crystal Palace. Do you think it bring a lot of fans there?
I'm not 100% sure, honestly. I know he has a good tight knit fan base, but I don't know. Like I haven't seen him sell out many fights himself.
Yeah,
where you can see Chris Billam-Smith.
Yeah,
he sells out a lot at the moment.
Yeah. I must admit, I'm a big Riakporhe fan, and I've seen him fight a couple of times. Admittedly, both times were at Wembley Arena, which is obviously a much smaller venue. Then I was at the Chris Billam-Smith against Akoli fight in Bournemouth, and wow, he pretty much sold that out. So and I thought Riakporhe, he may struggle with maybe a bit of fan ticket sales compared to Chris anyway. That was my gut feeling. You know, obviously Wembley Arena is a much smaller venue that we're going to get on Saturday. So that was my gut feeling behind it anyway. But
I think Boxer are definitely struggling to sell tickets in general.
Yeah.
I went to a Coley versus, I think it was David Light in the Manchester Arena. Got free tickets to that.
Good one to go to, Jack. Love that fight.
It was my first fight I went to over in England, and
okay, what experience you must have had on Cracker.
I was absolutely dog sick the whole day I was there, and then I got there with my dad. We watched most of the fights. Michael Gomez was on it.
Okay, fair enough.
Michael Gomez Jr. He was brilliant.
Yeah,
I think
the main event. I think people were walking before even the fight was over on that one, wasn't it?
We were gone by the 4th round.
Were you? Wow.
Yeah.
So, and
it was terrible.
I was going to say, obviously, Jack, you're a big boxing fan, so it takes a stinker of a fight to make you walk by the 4th, doesn't it? Really. So,
definitely.
Yeah, but obviously, boxers are ambitious, and they wanted a stadium fight as well. So, and I think obviously Crystal Palace accommodated that. So end of football season. So
I was surprised that they didn't do it in Bournemouth though. Like they're kind of guaranteed a sellout anytime they go there.
Yeah, I was very surprised. Because I would have thought the same. Again, he sells tickets. He's from Bournemouth. It could have been an easy sellout. Going back to the fight itself, who would you say is in the better form coming into this fight?
I think Riakporhe is probably in the better form. I don't think he takes as much wear and tear in fights compared to Chris Billam-Smith.
Yeah,
like his last couple fights, Billam-Smith, he's taken punishment. Like even in his last fight, he wasn't winning many rounds against was it Masterneck?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
the Polish fight. I thought he was lucky in that fight.
Oh, he was very lucky.
Yeah, I thought he was actually losing the fight until I think was it a stoppage or did he get the knockout?
I think it was a stoppage. I think it was a rib injury.
Yeah. And I thought he was so lucky with that because he was doing everything so wrong, wasn't he? Really.
And Masterneck he's pushing on now in age. Like he's not what he was. So I just imagine him in his prime, how he would have dealt with Billam-Smith.
Yeah. So you're going saying Riakporhe is in the better form.
Yeah, he's definitely in the better form. I think he doesn't take as much damage, and his fights don't seem to go the distance as much, which is a plus and a minus for him.
Yeah, because obviously, you're not getting the rounds in, but like I said, you're not getting the wear and tear as such as well. Do you think that win for Riakporhe, he's mentioned this on the interviews, will give him a psychological edge?
I think so. I think he knows how hard it was the first time, and I think he sees Billam-Smith's last couple fights, and that's probably given him a lot more confidence coming into this. Like the Masterneck fight, I'm going to keep going back to it because of how more of a performance it was. Like you're only as good as your last performance, and
I was about to say you're only as good as your last fight. Yeah, I was about to say that, Jack. Yeah. So
it's going to be I think it's going to be a good edge for Riakporhe going into this, but at the same time, it could be kind of a flame lit under Billam-Smith to kind of pick up the pace.
Yeah. I've not seen the gloves are off yet, but I wonder how much of that he will try to rub into Chris, like psychologically, like remind him of the first fight, get that in the back of his mind psychologically, thinking.
I literally just watched it before I came on here. Yeah.
Did he mention a lot? Did he? I've not seen it yet.
He didn't mention it too much. I thought he would have been kind of picking and poking at it a bit more. But at the end of the day, it was 5 years ago, so
Hmm.
both of them have to improve a bit.
Yeah, yeah. How much would this mean to Chris to get that win, that revenge over Riakporhe?
I think it'd be a relief for him in general. I think having that, like, the one on his record, the one loss, I think, even though he says he doesn't really care about it because of how close of a fight it was, I think that kills him on the inside, knowing that he
Yeah,
hasn't defeated everyone that he has taken on.
yeah. It's
So
become kind of like Lennox Lewis when he had to go back and avenge those defeats he had. But
yeah, like, if he can do it, like, I think it'll definitely be a step in a good direction for him.
mhm,
Like, if he was to retire after that, you could say, he's after taking on everyone and he's
yeah,
after beating everyone that he,
that he
you know.
fought. Yeah, yeah. That's fair enough. Who would you like to see the winner fight next? Obviously, I don't want your prediction yet, but say obviously either fight was, well, someone's going to win unless it's a draw. But who would you like to see him fight next?
I'd love to see a unification with Jai Apataya,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I
Okay.
I'd love to see it, but
Mm,
I I know it's going to be very hard to get Matchroom and Boxer to come together
still
to
get
do
together.
any
Yeah.
sort of fight.
Mm. So if you couldn't get that fight realistic,
Uh, that's kind of put me on the spot now. I'm
yeah,
trying to think of like, there's not many world champions in the cruiserweight division that, like,
yeah.
I'd be
Say, would
looking
you have
at.
to see another world, or do you
Pardon?
see? Do you see another domestic maybe, or
I,
with
I
with
yeah,
Isaac Ireland, or or
well, I kind of struggle to see Isaac Chamberlain winning his next fight. Like,
yeah,
to be
fair
honest,
enough.
I
Yeah,
think the Jack Massey fight is going to be
yeah,
tougher than he expects,
sure, okay.
and he's after
That's
losing already to Riakporhe. So,
yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Like I said, you got that conflict between Boxer and Matchroom. Will they work together? You never know. Ben Shalom mentioned something earlier together versus the 5v5 in September, potentially having Clark and Fabio Wardley on that undercard. So
I'd hope so. I'd
yeah,
love that.
so maybe that is a step in the right direction. Maybe they could be talking. Riakporhe warned Chris Billam-Smith to bring his pillow. He said he plans a knockout. Do you see this fight? Will it go the distance?
I I think it could go the distance because of
Okay.
how tough both men are, but at the same time, both, like, Riakporhe definitely has a lot of punching power in him, and it's those extra 2 rounds will Billiam-Smith be able to take
Mm,
take the
yeah,
punches.
yeah.
But
How do you see the fight going? What sort of type of fight would you expect?
I think it'll just be an all-out war.
Really?
I can't see it. I can't see it being a traditional, no, kind of boxing move. I think two of them are going to be in the middle of the ring, trying to tear each other's heads off, and I think it's just going to be as messy as the first fight.
Yeah, yeah. So we won't see it going the distance, I'm guessing. So unless both sucker in a
Yeah,
lot of punishment, I'm thinking anyway. So I'm kind of predicting the same. I think both of them are obviously quite aggressive, come forward fighters. So I'm kind of predicting the same. Crunch time for you, Jack. What's your final prediction for the fight?
I'm going to go with Riakporhe winning by stoppage in the later rounds. I think it's going to be nine round 9 onwards. I
Yeah,
think.
a late stoppage. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the punishment he's going to give Billiam-Smith is just going to be a bit too much, and I think fatigue is going to set in at some stage for Billiam-Smith. I
Hmm.
know he has a good gas tank, but taking the amount of punches as he did last time for an extra 2 rounds, like that can't be healthy for anyone.
Yeah, I like both. You heard me say before, I like both fighters, Billam-Smith and Riakporhe. But I'm going to totally agree with you on that, Jack. I only can see a Riakporhe late stoppage. Chris is tough, but I think Riakporhe, just the power, the work rate, the amount of punches, I think it's going to be a late stoppage as well. I'll agree on that one. I know you mentioned this one a bit earlier. We're going to talk about the undercard a bit. A couple more cruisers on the bill. Isaac Chamberlain versus Jack Massey. How do you see that one going?
I think it's going to be a tough fight for Chamberlain. I know there was talks of him going to fight Vidal Riley for the British title at one stage, but that fell apart because
it's a shame that one, isn't it? Didn't materialize.
Yeah, because the conflict there was it was starting to heat up a lot. But with Vidal Riley's injury as well to the rib, it was going to be another couple months anyway. And I don't think he was going to fight Chev Clark anytime soon either.
No.
But I think he will win, but I think it'll be a lot closer of a fight than people expect. Like people forget, like Jack Massey has taken on a lot of like high level opposition in a lot of different weight classes as well. Like he's gone up to heavyweight and everything, so
yeah,
it's definitely tough.
It's tough. Yeah, I can see it being a tough night. What's your prediction on it? What you're saying then?
I'm going to say split decision to Chamberlain.
Wow,
yeah.
I was going to say points to Chamberlain, but you're saying a much closer fight than a split decision SD on that one. So that's interesting. Certainly one to watch on the undercard anyway. So
definitely.
Moving on, this guy, Ben Whittaker, also on the card. What do you make of him so far?
I enjoy him outside of the ring more than I enjoy him inside of the ring at the moment.
I've said this before. Is he a Marmite fighter? Do you love him or hate him, or is it one of those ones?
Like I'm indifferent at the moment, and it's just because of the fights he's had. He hasn't he's doing all the flashy stuff at the moment, but even in his last fight, he took a few punches and he tried to play it off like, oh, I was testing my own chin.
Yeah,
no one's doing that. No one in their right mind is going to take a punch on purpose.
Okay. Do you think that, as opponent level starts going up, do you think that will come less, or because obviously what he's doing, he's selling it as, it's theatre, it's a show, isn't it? He's getting people talking about him. But boxing is still serious sport. But as the level go up, do you see that maybe calming down a bit, perhaps?
Well, every time that he has been caught with shots, you see he goes back to standard boxing for the rest of the round.
Yeah,
and I think that just shows, like, once he actually takes a few punches, he has to lock in for the rest of the round.
Yeah,
it's not like Nazim, where when Nazim was getting hit with shots, he'd still be dancing around the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's kind of strange that if he's not doing what he was doing in his earlier fights against higher opposition, it just looks kind of cruel towards the lower level.
The lower level, yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. I think a lot of people, you mentioned split decisions. I think a lot of people got a split decision on Ben Whittaker at the moment, to be honest with you. Moving on, Dan Aziz is also back after his points defeat against Joshua Buatsi back in September. Good to see Dan back fighting again.
I'm delighted to see him back. I think the performance he put in last time, he definitely made a fan out of me.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, he just showed how tough he was, and they just kept going to the last round, and you can only respect someone for that.
Yeah, definitely a great fighter, and he's a good addition to the division, isn't he? I think so, and he's a nice guy as well. He comes across a nice guy, so
yeah, very down to earth.
It's good, yeah. definitely. Before you go, always have some quick firing ending questions for you, Jack. The 5 versus 5, how much did you enjoy that?
I loved it. I made
Loved
€60.
I
Put a
don't think
few bets down. I made some money.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you can be a boxing fan and say you didn't love that. You really, can you? So,
The one fight that was the disappointment was the main card, in my opinion. I think
really?
I was just, it was a sad last fight for Wilder if it is his last fight.
Yeah, well,
when you see what he was like and then you see how he is now, it's
yeah. But I enjoyed the format. The only thing what I didn't really enjoy it is they stuck the Bivol fight sort of like 2 fights before the end. I thought obviously if we had Bivol versus Beterbiev, I bet they would have stuck that obviously on the end, wouldn't they? Because everyone would have stayed and wanted to watch that fight. But maybe because it weren't that fight, that's why they stuck it maybe in the middle, making people still watch. I'm guessing anyway that was the theory behind it. But certainly 5 brilliant fights. Like I said, you couldn't fault any of them really, could you? Like I said, I know you're a bit disappointed in Deontay Wilder, and
I think on Eddie Hearn's part, I think he kind of messed up getting a lot of American fighters.
Yeah, perhaps.
And Philip Hrgovic and Wilder, they're kind of co-promoted by Eddie Hearn at the moment. They're not his signings, so they're going to care about their own career before they care about the whole team. I think that was definitely something he overlooked.
Maybe learn from your mistakes. You can't do worse than 10-0, can you? So
definitely not.
Going back to Wilder, big subject. It has been over the last week. Should he retire now?
I honestly think that he's made his money now. He has nothing else to prove. He can only keep going downhill from here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think out of his last 4 fights, he's after losing, his last 5 fights, he's after losing 4 of them, and he's just taken crazy damage that he doesn't need to at this stage.
Yeah, I agree. He's probably earned loads of money. Well, hopefully he's earned loads of money. It's not a bad time to step away.
Yeah. He's a big overachiever for the style he had, holding on to a world title for that long with his only one trick being the right hand. You got to give it to him.
Yeah, although a lot of people probably disagree with me and say that they love to see that AJ fight still, but I'm not sure. Based on that, I think AJ will probably knock him out. Moving on, obviously it's been touted for AJ Dubois at Wembley. Does that get your vote in September?
Definitely. I've already booked a hotel room near Wembley.
Well,
last month when I heard the date, because I just want to see a fight in Wembley. I've never been to Wembley before, so if they can pack that out, I'll definitely be one of them.
Yeah, no, it is awesome. I've been lucky enough to see Anthony Joshua versus Povetkin and Tyson Fury against Dillian White as well, both at Wembley. So it is a pretty amazing atmosphere to have that amount of fans there. And if they're talking about adding this 5 versus 5 aspect on that card as well, I don't think they're going to struggle with tickets for that, are they? Surely. So
no, I think they could even get extra tickets if they wanted to.
Probably. Yes, some of the names of potential fights have been rumoured for that already. Like I said, I go back to Wardley against Clark as well, but there's been others been punted. Yeah, exactly.
Who would want to see him?
I know.
I'm definitely going.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to see him fight in the UK? It's crazy. Going on to a bit of a bizarre one, obviously. Again, another rumour's gone around. Amir Khan versus KSI. Yeah, that you probably don't have to answer that then, Jack.
Well,
really,
I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to lie to you. I went to see the Tommy Fury KSI fight in Manchester.
Oh, okay, you admit to that. So This is confession time for you, Jack.
Yeah, repenting my sins.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be honest. The whole misfits boxing, I don't mind it. There's definitely a good few fighters, not the mainstays like KSI and all those lads, but there's guys like Slim Alahar, I think is his name. They're decent boxers for the amount of fights they've had. And I've heard KSI is actually fighting in Dublin in August now, and it's not against Amir Khan.
It's not, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of a relief then, isn't it? Then I guess. But I was kind of not sure on this misfits boxing. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And after a while, I decided it's not a bad thing. It brings new people to the sport. Admittedly, I won't watch it, but if it brings new fans across to boxing who may watch, say, Chris Billam-Smith versus Richard Riakporhe, great. It's more fans. So
I just think it's like amped up amateur boxing, in my opinion.
Yeah, with YouTubers and celebrity wannabes, really. So
yeah, like a lot of my friends, they wouldn't watch like a professional boxing match ever, but the minute there's like a KSI fight on or something, they'll sit down and watch it. So, you know.
Sure, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's got a market there. There's money to be made there as well. So I think it's here to stay. Also this weekend, we've got Tank versus Frank Martin. Quick prediction on that one?
I haven't seen much of Frank Martin's fights, to be honest. So I'm going to stray towards Gervonta Davis, but that's only because I don't know much of Frank Martin's work.
Yeah.
So I don't want to give a proper prediction. You know,
commit. So I'm going Tank knockout. Easy. Well,
you just never know, though. Like the amount of time he takes out of the ring, it's
yeah. I know
it's crazy.
It is crazy, but he's certainly obviously one to watch as well. But that's pretty much it for this week's show. Appreciate your time, Jack, for coming on. Everyone, please check out Jack's channel. I'm going to put that on the bottom of the video, as mentioned. Absolute Boxing YouTube channel as well. Check it out. Again, please support the channel the best you can with likes, subscriptions, comments below. Let us know what you feel about the fights and your predictions as well. Enjoy the fights on Saturday, Jack, in there. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.